When Russell Westbrook turned down his player option with the Denver Nuggets, a lot of us were left scratching our heads. Personally, I thought that he turned down that player option because he had a bigger deal than the veteran minimum lined up elsewhere. And let's just say that I couldn't have been more wrong. Forget about having a bigger deal than the minimum. Russ barely had a market at all. His free agency saga stretched all the way into October, leaving everyone wondering if the phone would ever ring for him. Things reached the point where even Sam Amick, after spending some time around the Nuggets, noted that some within the organization were genuinely baffled by the league's total lack of interest in Westbrook, despite the personality challenges he often brought with him. Basically, they felt the same way that I did. Even at age 37, Russ was simply too talented to be sitting at home without an NBA team. Just as a quick rewind on the situation, some reports claimed that Russ was chasing a bigger payday, while Danny Green suggested that Russ opted out because Denver simply didn't see him fitting into their rotation. Whatever the reason, Westbrook ended up in the same spot, on the outside, looking in. Westbrook's chaotic free agency finally reached a wild conclusion when the news broke that he'd be joining the Sacramento Kings just ahead of the regular season's tip-off. And just like clockwork, we already have some huge, polarizing updates about Russell Westbrook. But before we go any further, if you guys are enjoying the content, then be sure to drop a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you guys never miss an upload. On Underdog Fantasy, a great way to play fantasy sports, I'm picking Nikola Jokic, who is as good as anybody in the league, to go higher than 20.5 assists and rebounds, and the old but reliable Jimmy Butler to score higher than just 18.5 points. And now when you sign up with code COOP and play just $5, they'll hook you up with $100 in bonus funds or bonus entries. Using code COOP is also just another great way to show the channel some extra love. Appreciate you guys, and thank you Underdog for the sponsor. Right before Westbrook signed his deal, I dropped a video titled that everything just changed for Russell Westbrook. And funny enough, right after I posted it, everything actually did change. Russ officially decided to continue his career with the Sacramento Kings, which ironically was the one team that I'd said in that very video that I least wanted to see him join. I mentioned how heading to a middle-of-the-road Sacramento squad to pad stats might be the most Westbrook way to wrap up his career in the eyes of the public, and that's definitely not a good thing. Think about this. Russell Westbrook is undeniably one of the most dynamic yet polarizing guards that the NBA has ever seen. Legendary for his freakish athleticism and jaw-dropping triple-double runs. But for every night that he's single-handedly carried his team with those absurd stat lines, there have also been plenty of rough performances and questionable decisions. Especially later in his career, some of these performances and questionable decisions have come at the expense of his team. This has led to many believing that Russ simply isn't a winning player, believing that all he cares about entirely are stats.
Wasn't really able to do some of the things that I was able to do. Like even last year, like obviously I'm coming off of averaging a triple-double, so anything less than that would not be a a good season for me in my eyes. You know what I'm saying? So that's why the scale of how it comes from is a little different.
It's still a pretty cool feat to get a triple-double or fill up the stat sheet, but winning will always be better. When filling up the stat sheet comes at the expense of the team, or that's how you quantify if you had a good game, then that's a problem. I didn't want Russ ending up in Sacramento precisely because I didn't want to see him having these solid statistical games on what projects to be a mediocre Kings team. To be this late in his career, I wanted something more for him. Instead, I wanted to see him build off of the momentum that he built in Denver, embracing a meaningful role and chasing wins on a legitimate contender. He has simply been too talented of a player to not have a secure role on a winning team at this point in his career. Even if the Nuggets didn't envision him as a key rotation piece, Russ still could have offered tremendous value by embracing a veteran leadership role and positively impacting the locker room. The toughest pill to swallow about Russ ending up in Sacramento is realizing that he wasn't even close to a priority for this franchise. Even if some of his new teammates like DeRozan and Levine openly expressed excitement and went to bat for him, that still doesn't change the fact that Sacramento didn't give him a fully guaranteed deal. So while it's amazing that he landed somewhere, especially at age 37, which is a lot more than a lot of players can say at his age, it also means that he's literally clinging to his spot in the NBA. Russ now has zero margin for error. Not that there would be any, but he can't afford any locker room friction, especially since, according to AHN Fire Digital, that's exactly what the Kings seem concerned about. The curious case of Russell Westbrook just keeps giving. Quote, some members of the Kings are worried about Westbrook's poor shooting, decision-making in critical moments, and habit of turning the ball over too many times, the source said. And some members of the Kings are also worried about how Westbrook will react if he doesn't finish games in the fourth quarter, as Westbrook pouted behind the scenes when he was taken out of games in crunch time with the Los Angeles Clippers and Nuggets. According to sources, like his last few stops, they're saying let Russ be Russ, but then it's like there's already this cloud floating over his head. To be honest with you guys though, that report felt like pouring gasoline on an already existing fire just for fun. Like, how worried can you genuinely be about Russ causing drama when you've handed him nothing more than a non-guaranteed minimum contract? It's like I'm really worried about this $2 subscription that I pay for that I can cancel at any given time. In this scenario, they're acting like my guy Russ is a gym membership or something. You guys know how hard it can be to cancel gym memberships when you get a membership to the wrong gym. Like I've said at a few of Westbrook's recent stops, if things blow up, you just cut bait, move on, and pretend that it never happened. If the problem can vanish with the click of a button, then it's probably not a problem worth losing sleep over. I didn't want Russ to go to Sacramento, but if he's happy, then I'm happy for him. The circumstances may not be ideal, but it truly does seem like he's happy to just still be playing as he absolutely should be.
What's you going and what drives you most?
Family. My family, my supporters, the ability to be able to be grateful and blessed to be able to wake up and have limbs and things at work and be able to use them, and using this platform to build other parts of my life and businesses, and just the overall fun I have while playing and enjoying the game. And I think it's something I'd never ever take for granted, and grateful to be able to do that again.
After what happened in Los Angeles, it's nothing short of a miracle that Westbrook's career is still going on. In that recent Westbrook video that I mentioned earlier, we briefly touched on how Russ's stint in Los Angeles clearly took a toll on his career trajectory, something that I don't think that anyone can seriously dispute. Just before Russ signed with the Kings, Patrick Beverley dropped some passionate insights into what really went down during Westbrook's time in LA.
It's f***ed up what happened to Russ, bro. On God. It's f***ed up what happened to Russ. And Russ got a bad take because of that Lakers team. That's the truth, bro. That's the truth. You talk to T-Lou. T-Lou did an interview with motherfuckers. I love Russ. Ever since Russ left the Lakers, bro, he's been on a minimum, bro. We've never seen this ever. We've never seen a player who's been the MVP, who's impacted the game, who they call him names and tell him he can't shoot, go to the playoffs, shoot 40% with the Clippers the very next year, right? Take a less demeaning role with the Lakers, take a less demeaning role with the Clippers. He's been a sixth man ever since he's left the Lakers. He's a starting point guard in the NBA. He's arguably one of the top 3 point guards to ever play the game. You tell me this man can't get on the team all because he's passionate, all because he stretches with the team every single practice, all because if it's a team out and he's there all the time, all because if you talk to anyone around the league, Russ is the best teammate I ever have. I talked to Paul George. Hey, P, Pat, you go love Russ. Austin Reeves, Russell Westbrook, one of the best teammates I ever had. What the f*** are we talking about? Why isn't this man on the team?
I mentioned this because thanks to reporting from Yaron Weitzman, we now allegedly have even more behind-the-scenes insight into what exactly went down with Russ in LA. Reportedly, Russ grew tired of LeBron's fake behavior during their time in Los Angeles, saying that he hates that fake stuff and that he just can't do it. It's no secret that LeBron and AD quickly ran out of patience with the Westbrook experiment. Who could forget LeBron openly lobbying for Kyrie Irving, straight up saying duh when asked if Kyrie could help the Lakers, despite Kyrie playing the same position as Russ. And let's not overlook Bron's very public frustration when Kyrie ended up in Dallas instead of LA, clearly signaling that he was ready to move on.
Well, definitely disappointed. I can't sit here and say I'm not disappointed on not being able to land such a talent, but someone that I had great chemistry with, and know I got great chemistry with on the floor that can help you win, championships. In my mind, in my eyes. But my focus has shifted now. My focus has shifted back to where it should be, and that's this club now, and what we have in the locker room.
That's
and
a
guys
quick pivot, LeBron.
It's a quick pivot. Quick pivot. It don't take me long. It don't take me long. I don't get too excited about the possibilities of things that can be. I kind of envision myself on what it can, but I don't invest it all the way until I know it's happening. And when it does not happen, I'm back locked in on the job at hand. So, we had an opportunity. I think our names was out there. The Lakers' name was out there. We had an opportunity. Didn't happen. We move on, and we finish the season strong. Try to get a bid into the postseason, where I feel if we go in healthy, and we compete with anybody.
Earlier, I talked about pouring gasoline onto a fire, but seriously, what do you even call this? I thought Bron publicly calling out Shams and the media demanding trade updates at the deadline years back was savage, but this was on a completely different level. Now, to continue reading the report, apparently there was a time during a Lakers team event where Will Smith came to speak just 6 months removed from slapping Chris Rock during the 94th Academy Awards, and with the team gathered in the film room just finishing a tough film review, LeBron and AD suddenly walked out before he arrived. Apparently, Bron said y'all got this, as AD said the S-word, man, and they left the room. With the room in confusion, our guy Westbrook rose up and asked if they were all leaving, to which Russ was told nah by Patrick Beverley. With Westbrook confused, Beverley explained that those two guys had won a championship and that they could do whatever in the world that they wanted. Minutes later, they returned acting overly friendly. LeBron apparently dominated the talk and was asking questions and quoting movie lines. Apparently, Westbrook watched in disbelief, shaking his head and rolling his eyes every time LeBron spoke. To which Russ said to a teammate what we had quoted earlier: "I hate that fake stuff. I just can't do it." There's some more about how Russ didn't like LeBron misrepresenting himself, like claiming that The Godfather was his favorite movie but not knowing a single line, carrying the autobiography of Malcolm X to his interviews without being able to discuss it, and even saying that he predicted Kobe's 81-point game. And that these moments made Russ view LeBron as inauthentic. I can't even believe what I just read. I saw somebody say that a lot of this reads like an RDC skit, which is hilarious, because it absolutely does. I actually think that an RDC skit would be much more well written, but sheesh, some of this does seem a little funny, but even if just a small bit of it was true, I don't think that any of this is going to turn any of our heads. I wonder where LeBron and the Lakers would be today, and what Westbrook's career would look like if LeBron never pushed for that Westbrook deal, and that deal never happened. In the comments below, let me know what you guys think of the Sacramento Kings. How many games do you have Sabonis, Westbrook, LaVine, and DeRozan winning? Now, we did just get to see Russell Westbrook's debut with the Sacramento Kings, and this probably wasn't the start that he was hoping for. The Kings ended up losing to the Suns after blowing a 17-point lead early in the third quarter, and Russ's stat line wasn't exactly pretty. 6 points on 2 of 8 shooting, 0 of 2 from deep, along with 6 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block, and 2 turnovers. That 1 block was the Westbrook experience in a nutshell. He threw a shaky pass to Zach LaVine, had it picked off, then got a chase down as Zach LaVine watched helplessly. And naturally, Russ's first bucket in a Kings uniform just had to be an and one. The Russell Westbrook experience in Sacramento is going to be an interesting one. Matt George, a Sacramento sports anchor, pointed out that Russ had been coaching guys on the floor nearly as much as Doug Christie. So even though this signing wasn't exactly something that I was thrilled about, if Sacramento genuinely lets Russ be Russ at the expense of some of their younger guys, then hopefully his contributions will go beyond just the box score. At some point, the Sacramento Kings have to look at the big picture, and this is something that we will definitely be talking more about soon. Now also, let me know what you guys think about Westbrook's whole LA debacle. Anyways, there's some more going on in the basketball universe that we have to be covering, so clicking one of the videos that's on the screen right now is a great way to support this channel. I'm GetLikeCoop, bringing you guys the scoop until our next upload.